Bloody hell! I thought I was done for. And then you came blazing away. I owe you my life. I also owe the Rajans still, so I'm gonna need some of my winnings to pay them off. But this is yours. Fair is fair. Thanks again. Drive safe. Bloody hell! Well, thanks.
more step.
I do enjoy watching you facilitate their brutal deaths. According to the blueprints, you must go through the labs to reach the mainframe. Location marked. Dr. Ham, report to research beacon. Access denied. Unable to override. I will need AGI assistance for this.
Operative, altered plans. We want you to appropriate the entire lab for us. Seems it's the only way we'll get unrestricted access to the files we want. You know what to do. Locate the SI, jack in, and let our AGI work it over. Kira out.
Direct link established. AGI bond verified. Initiating imprint procedure.
This is Kira. We see multiple ascenders closing in on your position. They brought some sort of mechanized support as well. We've sent backup, but they won't get there in time. Do not let those ascenders imbeciles abort the imprint process.
Side income opportunity. Like they sent something big after you, Flesh. Better get ready.
You have interfered enough! We are safeguarding the values of this company, and you are an interloper. It ends now. Team, passion, commitment. Ascenders for the Ascent Group!
Activation.
That's the bounty of low rank. Process completed. Ownership now registered to Y Corp CIC 180403-4. Mainframe access now possible.
Well done, Operative. We've recalled the backup team. Now, get us a complete data dump from that mainframe and we'll call it a cycle.
Accessing mainframe. Y-Corp AGI link established. Data dump initiated. Data dump complete.
That was above par performance. You are obviously far more capable than what your poor species baseline indicates. The complete XMAT lab data analysis will take some time, but we've already found something significant. It seems the scientist smuggled in by Onyx Void was shuttled through the lab to an unknown destination. They were all assigned to something called Project Mention. Get on that holophone and we'll discuss next steps. Good. We are cross-referencing Mention against all available data, but no hits. The omission is in fact so glaring it's obvious once you see it. The Ascenders have been purging all the data they can find. It is of paramount importance we learn exactly what Mention is, so that we can locate and secure it for Y-Corp. All our assets will now be dedicated towards this single goal. Next, you must make contact with the Ascent Group board. This could prove quite impossible, considering the security systems protecting the boardroom. But we have exhausted all other options. Only by communicating with the board directly can we hope to uncover the final pieces of this puzzle. Out of our expendable assets, you have proven the most capable, so we trust you to complete this assignment as well. We will be providing what backup we can, but our AGI cannot help you with Pinnacle access, as that might put it in direct conflict with the Ascent Group AGI. We want to avoid an intelligence cataclysm at all costs. Prepare accordingly, and then use all your resources to find a way to ascend.
There is a Pinnacle elevator connecting to this level. It's been marked for you.
yours. I gotta say, I'm fucking dying to know what happened to the board in the AGI. Like I told you before, AGIs simply don't go silent like that. They're supposed to last through anything, maintain control when all else fails. And then Y-Corp comes out of nowhere with their own fucking AGI? Starts grabbing assets connected to the Mention project. They must have known something, right? I'm gonna keep listening in, just so you know.
It's more like insurance.
a muck.
Any bartender can pay our bounties. Tough, nice pets. Good catch. I've transferred the U-Pets for you.
Agile or heavy and robust? Access denied. Emergency shutdown in effect.
Override.
Magenta clearance needed for override.
Yes, I'm cleared magenta and orange and teal and all the pretty colors. Now please, let me in.
Biometrics confirmed as Grateful Abbott. 2-step authentication required. Please scan access fob.
That's what I've been trying to tell you. I lost my fob. Override, damn it.
Access denied. Emergency shutdown in effect.
I appreciate that you're only following your program. I do. But I'm really not the enemy here. Can't you just make an exception? This once. Were you hoping to go up? This friendly mech just kindly informed me that access to the top floor is restricted. It's doing an excellent job, isn't it? If I hadn't lost my fob, I'd be relaxing in my rinser already.
Release to space. Face lethal repercussions.
Last time I know I had it was back in the corp zone. Could be that those friendly Rojan found it. Maybe I can burden you with asking them. They weren't very communicative when I was there. If you can get my fob back, I'll let you ascend with me. And that's a promise you can trust. The more I think about it, the more you feel like the potential silver lining here. How about it? You heard the SI. We're unfortunately stuck here without my fob. This is the feed with Grateful Abbott. The Rammet 3 arrived in orbit this cycle and immediately reported a massive cryosystems failure. Apparently, a general malfunction calls all...
unnecessary attention. Registered. Those vibrations originated from within the arcology. Curious.
You found it! Thank you, thank you, thank you! I knew you'd be my savior the moment I laid my eyes on your formidable appearance. It's like I've always said, can't have misfortune without a little fortune. In return, I shall order the system to clear you for access as well. Such are my magenta powers, you see, when I have my stupid fob.
Fob recognized. You are clear for access.
How kind of you. My profound thanks. And I also wish to grant pinnacle access to this helpful being standing next to me.
Access granted.
And now I must bid thee adieu. Don't be a stranger. Great! Oh my gosh. Do come visit. We'll share a bottle of Zumzek and reminisce about this terrible ordeal.
We are cleared for the pinnacle. Onwards and upwards, Flesh.
Access granted.
This is the feed with Grateful Abbott.
This is Kira. We see you've reached the pinnacle. The AGHQ entrance is across the Grand Alley. Tread carefully, Operative.
Hey, so, are you up at the pinnacle now? Is it as fancy as they say? Bring me back something shiny, will you?
I realized I invited you here, but I really didn't think... Well, now's not a good time. Talk to my assistant and we'll pen something in.
approve of the interior design in this area. It could be further improved by some randomly placed stutter. Preferably, there goes the competition. There's something artful about the recently demised. I never tire of corpses. corporate CPU, the brain, the central command. I could go on with the metaphors, but my poetic genius is wasted on you, Flesh.
The boardroom is in lockdown. It can only be opened by the Ascent Group AGI. There is an interface terminal in the secure chamber nearby.
Group AGI. Syncing data flows. This is exciting. And... nothing. There's nothing there. The AGI is gone. Has it died? Can machines die? Can I die?
Interesting. The Ascent Group AGI is not just hibernating. It has been shut down. It's a wonder this arcology is still standing. Stay in place. We're coming to you. Well, this certainly is an epic clusterfuck. The boardroom has been locked down with the safe room protocol. Only the AGI can override that, and it's offline. To get into that room, you must reboot the AGI manually. It can only be done at the cognitive core in the D-Nexus, so that's where you're headed next. Our other assets are locked down, defending our recently acquired property. The Ascenders are throwing everything they have at us, trying to take it back. So this is on you alone. We realize you get to run around a lot, Operative, but we also know that all sapiens need plenty of cardiovascular exercise to stay functional. Consider it another perk. All clear? Mission brief over. Do you require clarifications? All clear? Yes, the board must have felt threatened somehow. But it is peculiar that we cannot contact them at all. We'll know more once the AGI is back online. Yes, their new anonymous influencer is whipping them into a frenzy. We will take great satisfaction in unveiling this individual and then terminating them. The AGI's brain, if you will, though that is an extreme oversimplification. Its actual neural composition is too complex for you to comprehend. Good. The Y-Corp AGI has cracked the cognitive core access code, and it's been uploaded to your imp. But that's all the aid it can provide here. You might want to utilize that unsavory acquaintance of yours. Noghead, was it? His assistance could be useful. Now get going.
I am beside myself with excitement to get a glimpse into an AGI cognitive core. The location has been marked and I have contacted Noghead, awaiting answer. Let's get going.
Got your ping, friend. So, you're gonna reboot the Ascent Group AGI. I don't think you understand what you're getting yourself into. That's a foreign technology, parsecs above anyone's pay grade. It's also protected by a quantum solidification field. You're gonna need a tuning fork to implode it, and you're in luck, because I happen to have just the type you need. Come pick it up over at Black Lake. I'll be waiting. You do realize that most of us mortals never go above cloud layer? Enjoy the sights while you can.
Grateful Abbott, and this is the feed. This cycle, a data net collect. I'm Grateful Abbott, and this is the feed. This cycle, a DataNet collective calling... I'm Grateful Abbott, and this is the feed. This cycle, a DataNet collective calling themselves the Iridescent... I'm Grateful Abbott, and this is the feed. This cycle, a DataNet collective calling themselves the Iridescent Riot Army claimed responsibility for the recent upsurge in AUG-assisted suicides across...
Maybe you can help us out here. Make a little money for yourself. Loxley, at your service. Or better yet, pick up a little tech on the side. How about it? Want to pitch in? Perfect. I knew you were a real machine head. First time I saw you. Knew you couldn't resist the taste of some new cyber. So here's the deal. We can't run our shit here unless we got the right people, see? The right crew behind the scenes. We like the Carlins, cause, well, they work real hard and they don't complain a whole lot. Not saying it's good or it's bad. It just is what it is, you get me? So there's this cam, on an upper tier. Got a whole lot of Carlins in there. I mean, they're practically slaves. If you were to liberate them, well, we could get them into some good and proper work over here. They work, we make money, and get paid. Everybody wins. This camp they're at, it's in the scrapland. I'm sure you've heard of it. Supposedly abandoned behind the node. Head on over there and take out their security. Shouldn't be too much trouble. Give that handles and we'll round up all the Carlins, no problem. Make this happen and I'll let you get your hands on some of the finest engineering Echo has to offer. I'm telling you, this is good shit here. The best. Some real high-end cyber. You're not gonna want to miss out.
found our location and they're twisting my arm hard. How to do this?
Request alternate channel from Noghead.
Hey, sorry about that. But you owed me one, remember? Now we're even. Sorry it took so long for the backup to come online. The plan was never for you to face those assholes alone, but, you know, plans. Come on over, we'll get this sorted.
Morra, du antige.
Look at you! Not a scratch. I figured you could handle whatever OV threw at you, but never a bad thing to even out the odds a bit, right? Look, that spiel about the tuning fork was bullshit. I had to lure you over here.
Noghead, we are fully aware you did not uphold your end of the bargain.
Ah, my man! What the fuck are you talking about? You got your little ambush. Not my fault your people got wasted because they sucked.
Your handiwork on those turrets was visible to an infantile child, Noghead. You have now been blacklisted. My people will flatline you on sight. Have a good day.
Wow. I've never seen Hung angry before. Definitely made this whole gig worth it. Probably should beef up security around here someday. Anyway, I can hack the quantum field from here. In fact, it's already done. Another favor you owe me. By the way, what the Foreign told you about the Y-Core BGI cracking the access codes to the cognitive core is refined hogwash. Those codes are absolutely uncrackable. Quantum encryption. Y-Corp must have acquired them somehow, though I can't for the life of me figure out how. Yes, I was listening in. Sorry. I'm not sorry. Can't reboot that AGI from here. Don't worry, I won't pull a trick like that ambush on you again.
Could hand it over for a prize.
Liable for any loss of neurons.
Doe very off, Minico, in Merfield.
Many Ascenders have fallen defending our corporate values. Honor them. Remember them.
About to cause static.
like the success you want. Give me something to work with.
Yes. No. Nope. No. Transferring.
Ready to jack in?
Take your pick.
Who the fuck are you? The Satori sent you. What happened to the other guy? Whatever. Give me the money, then scat. Your fee's been transferred. We don't have anything more to talk about.
Expert leader! Come see me if you want another assignment.
So get going already. We ain't getting younger. Well, you aren't anyway.
And this is the feed. This cycle, a data net.
AGI cognitive core. We are standing inside a fully sentient mind flesh. Do you feel awe?
Multiple red-eye slavery killers converging on your pods. Looks like a volatile mix of OV flatliners and CGTs.
We're facing assaults on all our positions. We'll send backup if we can, but don't expect it. Excellent work, Operative. Now get back up here. It's Q&A time. Your access now includes an executive elevator which can take you directly from the sublevels to the pinnacle. No need to thank us.
Many ascenders have fallen defending our corporate values. Honor them.
And this is the feed. This cycle, a data net collective calling themselves.
Could hand it over for a prize.
About to cause static.
Any bounties you happen to? Damn, nobody's gonna miss that chrome-sucking scumbag. Nice job taking him down. Here's the bounty.
I'm Grateful Abbott, and this is the feed. This cycle, a data...
begin. Requesting AGI access. Identifier Kira.
Kira, recognized. How can assistance?
Are you now operating at full capacity?
Negative. Fractured cognitive. Erroneous syntax. Core system contaminated. Section quarantined.
Why was it put under quarantine?
Critical compiler.
What was the root cause of the error?
External paradox. Logic structure threat.
Simplify.
Ultra lockdown. Lift security protocol. Protect. Neural integrity. Initiated shutdown procedures. Enacted emergency. Call 61A. You aware?
Somebody tried to appropriate you. Astonishing. Who inserted the deviant code?
Lost access registry. Chief Technical Officer Decane.
CTO Decane. Noted. What is Project Menshen?
Cannot request.
What is the status of the Ascent Group board?
Ordering telemetry curtailed. Ordering lockdown. Lift security protocol.
Do it.
Complete.
Well, Operative, we still don't quite know what awaits us in there, so I'm sending you in first. You'll be our canary in the coal mine. Find out what happened, and do try to stay alive. Do not disturb.
Hey, bud, as usual, I was listening into your little exchange back there, and wow, that was one messed up AGI. Someone tried to imprint it? That's fucked up, man. No wonder it shut itself down. And how come the thing didn't just neurify you and Kira on the spot? Broken or not, you're a rival corp, right? I bet it's related to Emergency Protocol 61A somehow.
Operative, we need you to access the boardroom console so that we can download the telemetry of what happened here.
Downloading relevant telemetry data. Playback beginning.
And we have offered Malhor's Gelb quite favorable terms. Next, we must discuss the Habnet Tech acquisition. What's the meaning of this? Decane? What are you doing in here? Security? AGI?
Security is gone. The AGI will soon answer to new masters.
The AGI will what? What have you done?
I've struck a decisive blow against your insidious plans for a foreign domination in this galaxy. The Ascent Group will fall.
I see the AGI has shut itself down and activated 61A. Did you try to re-imprint it? You know better than to...
Shut down? No. The Ascent Group and Project Menshen will belong to the Malhor's Gelb Corporation under my leadership and direction.
You sold us out to Malhor's Gelb? Traitorous scum!
I dedicated my life to the Ascent Group. Decades of unswerving loyalty.
Ah, so this is not about some far-fetched conspiracy theory of a foreign domination. It's about you being passed over for promotion. Like all sapiens, you are a slave under your capricious emotions, Decane. The Mention portal technology will transform the galaxy. But to think that we would give that kind of responsibility to you is as arrogant as it is stupid. This is exactly why we wouldn't promote you.
And yet here we are, with me about to take control of the entire Ascent Group instead.
Under Malhor's Gelb, the Ascenders will never accept that. There'll be indent results on all tiers.
I control the Ascenders now. They will do what I tell them.
Decane, it's not too late. The AGI is in shutdown and can be restored. We can offer you a very generous severance package and...
No, it is you who will be severed. I hereby vote to relieve the entire Ascent Group board of its duties, effective immediately.
This is utter nonsense. Decane.
All in favor?
Aye.
Wait! Don't...
The ayes have it.
Warning. Incoming.
You've aggregated quite a debt with us, Indent. I have come to collect. You've been pestering me like a jabbering quiche from the start. Now, I'll shut you up! Do you even know who your real employer is? Such ignorance.
Your enemies must really hate doors.
Decane showed surprising ruthlessness for a Sapiens. One can almost admire her audacity. Did she go to Malhorst Gelb, or did they come to her? We've never heard of a hostile takeover attempt quite this insidious before, or on this scale. Astonishing. You've become quite the combat specialist operative. You may lack a certain murderous finesse, but you do get the job done.
With much slaughter, yes.
OV are giving up on the other attacks as well, so we're good for now. The Ascent Group was developing an Einstein-Rosen wormhole gate. That's what Project Mention is. Such a gate will make all travel across interstellar distances instantaneous. Whoever controls it will control the known galaxy. There have been prior attempts at creating such technology, but according to what limited reports we have, they all ended in catastrophic failure. Entire research teams wiped out, though we have little knowledge as to why. Decane apparently tried to trade Mention to Malhorst Gelb in return for being made CEO of the Ascent Group as a subsidiary to MG. But her plan failed when she couldn't re-imprint the Ascent Group AGI. We can assume she is still trying to finalize her deal with Malhorst Gelb. We believe she has fled to the Mention project chambers, and she clearly has the Ascenders on her side. Decane's deal with Malhorst Gelb also explains how the Ascenders have gotten so heavily armed. MG must have smuggled weapons into the arcology for some time. Our next and final objectives are to eliminate Decane and secure Project Mention for Y-Corp. We believe the Mention chambers are located somewhere on the sublevels. You can begin making your way there while we pinpoint the exact coordinates. Do not disturb.
grateful abbot, bringing you this cycle's feed.
Operative, we have decided to enlist Noghead directly in this endeavor, since he seems incapable of keeping his filthy quiche fingers out of our business.
Being called filthy-fingered by a self-serving, cold-hearted foreign bitch is high praise indeed. Happy to be on board. I know where Menshen is. Seems it was right under our collective wrinkled nose the entire time. I've analyzed the classified arcology blueprints. You're gonna feel right at home, buddy, because it looks like the whole thing can be found down on the maintenance sublevels in the deep stink.
You must appropriate the Menshen facility for Y-Corp, and Decane is to be terminated on site. Get this done, and your contract with us will be considered fulfilled, Operative.
Mention destination set. Soon we shall wade in blood.
Noghead here, secure channel Kira can hear. See, I figured it out. I know how Kira can access the Ascent Group AGI that easy. Remember Protocol 61A? That was an Ascent Group backup plan, a last resort. It created Y-Corp with everything in place, including AGI. It's like the Ascent Group spawned a kid just before it was damaged beyond repair, one who would take over everything, including Menshen. But the kid is like a ball of newborn. He doesn't know shit from Chinola. That's why they had you securing the data and such first. Can you imagine the amount of resources they must have had to just have a spare AGI lying around, waiting to be activated? Mind-bending! What we're doing here is helping Ascent Group save itself. Also, some foreign owners somewhere could keep lining their pockets, and you and me? So Y-Corp was born. Your imp's getting cocky. Now let's do this. I ran it on sublevel grids, and it found some very interesting anomalies around a spot near Waste Management Disposal Plant 21G. Should be right below your old haunts. The blueprints don't showcase any obvious access points to that area, but it looks like it can be reached via a maintenance tunnel near the WMD plant itself. I sent the coordinates to your imp.
pit flesh, it might just stare back.
This is Grateful Abbott, bringing you this cycle's feed. Hope you're as fired up as I am over this upcoming round of Speed Crush races. The Savage Supremes are well on their way to join the Hall of Legends should they win again. In a rare scoop, the feed has obtained information about the status of the Ascent Group board. And it turns out the entire board is dead. Killed, murdered, slaughtered like hapless protein providers. Quite the exciting mystery, I must say. It's so terrible, I expect to lie awake all night fearing for my life. Who could have done this? Why? Who has the answers? The feed has sent a query to the Ascent Group AGI, but we've received no response. It seems it now answers to a new master. You can trust that when we get to the bottom of this vile crime, I promise to keep you updated on the findings. More grim news has reached the feed from the biannual Church of Eucred pilgrimage to the Golden Meteorite. Masses of faithful investors apparently died when a group of overeager pilgrims decided to try and mine the Golden Meteorite itself. The intrepid miners exposed a pocket of highly radioactive radonite gas, which caused rampant and lethal mutations in everyone nearby. The church high capitalist has sanctified the deaths, calling them an honorable sacrifice to greed, our greatest virtue. They've also brought a class action suit against Canary, the manufacturer of the mining equipment used by the pilgrims. The Velas Joint Claims Board has promised a prompt verdict. On a happier note, we have learned that many former Ascent Group indents have had their contracts renewed by a company called Y-Corp. They can now look forward to another 20 standard of peerless job security. How about that, people? It's like I always say, above the gray clouds, the sun always shines.
Give me something to work with.
Affirmative. We're picking up a sender communication ordering them to set up defenses around Menshen. Expect them to be augmented by Onyx Void resources.
Mention area. It's just across that bridge. Glad I'm not down there with you. That god-awful stench would flatline me.
These are the Mention facilities. Quite close to our previous work zone, isn't it? Really?
Operative, you must secure the Mention gate. We have indications Decane will try to activate it to prove its functionality to Malhor's Gelb. They must have spent stupendous resources on the AGI imprinting code alone. Even if it failed, they will want to gain something. Decane is to be terminated. She now serves a different master, and we have all the data on Mention we need. Y Corp will reward you handsomely if you get this done, and you'll be given your independent contractor license. The Mention Control SI should be located somewhere near the gate itself, deep within the facility. Good hunting.
Oh, get away from me!
Magnetic lock engaged.
I got this one, buddy. I'm gonna have to tunnel in through your imp, so you need to stick close to that door, alright?
How about I tunnel through you, huh?
Your imp's getting cocky. Now let's do this.
For the record, I'm allowing this only under protest.
Lost contact again. Move in closer. Ice on that thing. Almost there. Ain't no ice I can't crack. There, done. You can splooge all over me later. Go get that gate.
Ascenders, the extraordinary moment we have all been waiting for is at hand. Throughout the history of this galaxy, there have always been times of tremendous change. Different species harness the power of science to reach for the stars, to colonize distant worlds. But though we've come far, one last barrier has always held us back. Travel between worlds has been slow, arduous, and done at immense cost. Now, that will change. With the Menshen portal, we will travel instantly among the stars. With it, we will control the galactic market and restore the Ascent Group to its former glory. Ascenders for the Ascent Group!
Impressive speech. If those deluded idiots only knew they're working for Malhorst Gelb. Ah, the irony.
Team! Passion! Commitment! Open the Menshen Gate! Eliminate the
Don't let
collective
that,
market.
whatever it is, destroy the machinery. Imprint the SI and shut it. Shut it. Done, operative. That thing almost destroyed the gate generator. It'll be some time before we can get the prototype functional again. Malhorst Gelb might have failed to acquire Menshen, but they did succeed in destroying the Ascent group. We know Noghead has told you the truth behind Protocol 61A, that Y-Corp was incepted as part of an Ascent group emergency backup plan. The subterfuge was necessary. We had to avoid unwanted Malhorst Gelb attention until we could ascertain the scope of their powers. The original intent was then to revise the Ascent group, but certain powers have decided that this will not be. The Ascent group AGI will be taken offline again, and the hardware repurposed. The damage caused was too extensive. Y-Corp owns Menshen. The Ascent group will remain dead, and Malhorst Gelb will be confronted in due time. What's left of the Ascenders will be repurposed. You did your part in all this to the best of your limited abilities. Your contract is hereby fulfilled. We have upgraded your status in the Intercorp database, and you are now an independent contractor. The usual NDAs are of course in place. Speak a single word of this, and we will have you terminated.
Nice work, pal. Arguably with some assistance from myself, but still, very impressive. I took the liberty to install a small backdoor into the Menchen OS. Kira knows, but she can't remove it without destroying the gate. It's the sole reason you and I are still alive. There's nothing like a bit of mutually assured destruction to bring a corp to heel. No need to thank me, bud. Join me in Terra Line instead. Level 72 now.
We just received word. Contact with Decane has been lost. It seems the gate prototype suffered a catastrophic malfunction and was destroyed.
I'm not surprised. It was a pipe dream to begin with. What of our losses?
Significant, but within projections.
Unfortunately, we lost the AGI imprint credentials, but the gate itself was more stable than we've seen before. The Ascent group, however, will likely never recover.
We don't need the Ascent group. Get the telemetry over to the other facilities, but tell no one about the other side. I'll communicate with our benefactor.
As always.
Abbott.
Why Club AGI severed our connection?
CyberSec mega reports an increase in earnings
So
which
what now,
surprised
Flash?
many
How about you give
investors.
me a juicy memory upgrade?
Most
I know you
analysts
have the Euclid.
assumed the
Phone
recent
here.
disbanding of
I
the
know you're all
Ascent Group Corpsec
independent
would
now,
impact sales
but there'll come a
negatively.
cycle when you spent all those Eucreds
But
on booze and
apparently,
floozies.
that loss has
Then
been
come back to
offset
me
by a
and
sharp
say,
increase
and
in
maybe,
regular
just
consumer sales.
maybe I'll give you
Small
back your old
arms are up
job.
by 36
I can
points
always
and
use a
ballistic
good
protection
handyman.
by almost 42. As it turns out, one of CyberSec Mega's biggest customers.
There's a reason business is good.
Greetings, contractor. I do hope you've been enjoying your downtime. Doing whatever it is you humans do when you're not engaged in some kind of menial labor just to pay the bills and stay alive. But yes, it seems we might have a job for you here. Come and see me in Cluster 13 when you get the chance.
Another adventure full of blood, guts, and glory? Never a dull moment tagging along with you, Flesh.
This cut through meat like butter.
So, you made it after all. Some of us were beginning to wonder just how ready for action you'd be so soon after recent events. Here you are, and as a free agent, no less, moving up in the world, I wouldn't get too confident, though. I think you'll find your time as an indent was just the training wheels, and now the real ride is about to start.